All right, folks, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. You guys made it. It's another Friday. Hopefully you guys' weekend is already set up to be a great one. Hopefully everything is well. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am Via Baller. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern football and Atlanta Falcons football. Been talking a good bit about Georgia Southern lately, but now I'm going to flip it. I'm going to talk some Atlanta Falcons today, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts and opinions. So if you guys over here on YouTube, thank you guys for the support lately. Made it over 1,000 subs. Thank you guys for sharing, hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel. If you're over there on the podcast side, thank you guys for continued support over there. And subscribe over there if you haven't already, because anytime when I upload a new episode, you automatically receive it. So like I said, today we're going to talk about the final grade of the Atlanta Falcons 2021 draft class. And it's a lot of scrutiny behind this draft class. A lot of things been going on with a lot of these players. I think for the most part, we may have like one, maybe two people that's a surefire, excellent pick, but the rest of them are a little shaky. But we're going to get into all of that, and we're going to talk about that as well, and pretty much, keep it really simple for a Friday. So, like I said, thank you guys once again for all the continued support. You guys are amazing. Before I get into this, I want to let you guys in on something, because I've always tried to be somewhat transparent, and the thing is, last night, how should I say this? Last night before I went to get up to go to work, it was early morning actually. I woke up with really, really, really bad indigestion, heartburn. I don't know what it was, but it had to be one of the two, and it was devastating. It was so bad. It woke my wife up, and we had to call the ambulance, and they came and checked me out. And I know it was because of something that I had to eat the night before. My wife makes this phenomenal chili, and I really was worried about myself for a while, because it was something I never felt before, and I thought I was in serious danger. I never felt that type of pain in my chest. My arms and my hands got numb. I was very, very, scared. I did not know what it was, but my wife, she jumped up and sprung into action, called the ambulance. They came and checked me out. I was fine, but I just started to realize, like, look, I'm not as I'm not as young as I think I am anymore. I'm getting older, and I have to really worry about my intake. I have to worry about what I'm eating. I have to worry about what I'm doing as far as what goes into this body, because I'm getting up there. I'm almost. I'll be 40 this year. I just put it like that. I'll be 40 this year, and I gotta start acting like it. So if you guys aren't doing it, just take the time and watch what you eat, watch what your intake. Sometimes in some cases, you don't even have to stop eating certain things. It's how much you eat, because I ate a lot of that chili. That chili was phenomenal. And I tried to get my wife to make some this Sunday coming up, but after what happened last night, she's like, "Nah, I'm not making any." So, but it was a scare. But other than that, I'm okay, and I just have to watch what I do, because that was a pretty scary moment. All right, nevertheless, also the Georgia Southern Eagles are continuously picking up, trying to recruit more quarterbacks. And I mean, Coach Helton is on a tear right now as far as recruiting, and that's just like crazy. And the honorary scholarship offer that he gave to the quarterback of, I can't remember his name, Roper, that was just awesome. And it just first class, just first class. All right, let's go ahead and get into this draft class, 2021 draft class. Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith started putting their fingerprints on the Atlanta Falcons, and obviously the first pick that they picked up was Kyle Pitts. I mean, what can you say about this pick? I mean, it was number 4 overall pick. A lot of people thought we should have got a quarterback. I do understand why, but no, we did not. And Kyle Pitts almost broke the rookie record for tight ends. I mean, he did pretty good overall, and I think he knocked it out of the park with that easily. And then, after that, we end up getting Richie Grant in the second round. Richie Grant was another player that still had time to learn or whatever the case may be. I think he did okay for the most part, but I think next year he's going to be playing like he's going to be starting, so he needs to get ready. So there's no sophomore slump here. He's going to have to go ahead and get it in, and I think he will. I think he'll be fine. Richie Grant seemed like he was ready to do some things. Richie Grant forced a fumble against the Cowboys and recovered one against the 49ers. So he has that type of knack to get to the ball. And throughout the preseason, when I saw him playing the preseason, he was always around the ball when it was needed, like when he was playing defense. So that's pretty good deal. Also, one of the biggest, I'll say pretty much scrutinized players in the draft, our draft class was Jalen Mayfield. I mean, because Jalen Mayfield was thrown out there as a starter right away, and man, he had his ups and downs. I mean, that first game was abysmal, and he looked like he was ready to quit. But he turned back around. He kept pushing. He kept doing what he had to do. And I love the fact that he kept going and he made something out of himself. I think Jalen Mayfield was going to be okay, but he's going to have to step it up a little bit because Mayfield is, like I said, there's no sophomore slump. You got to get right back at it. Hopefully you learn a lot. Hopefully you get some techniques down, and you'll be able to do some things on the offensive line. Yeah, my son is back there, so you already know what time it is. Ogundeji, fifth round pick. I think he did pretty good. I think he had a blocked field goal. He was around the ball a few times. I actually like what I saw out of Ogundeji. One of the really quiet type of players throughout this season. Had 17 solo tackles, had 1 sack. Like I said, he did some things on special teams as well. I think he had a blocked field goal. So Ogundeji did pretty well. Don't have too much of an issue with what he's done. It's pretty good to see like these guys that are rookies actually doing something that stands out. And one kid that actually stood out in the special teams was Avery Williams. Avery Williams, we already knew that he was like a return specialist at Boise State, and turning back around, he did pretty good for the Falcons this year in the return game. So I think he's going to be around for a while to do those type of special teams situations. So he was 18th in the league in yards per punt return. So that was pretty good for a rookie. Not bad at all. It was pretty much like in the middle of the pack for the rest of the team. Darren Hall is another guy that was came from San Diego State, had 21 solo tackles, believe it or not. That's pretty good for a rookie, and he had 1 sack. So pretty good as well. Just efficient, in one game against the Panthers, he had 4 solo tackles, and turned back around against the Buccaneers, had 4 solo tackles in 2 games back to back. And he had 1 sack against the Patriots in the game that we ended up losing 25-0. But at the end of the day, he did pretty good overall. So you can't really knock him for that. Pretty good stats right there for a rookie. Taquan Graham, we're going to talk about him for a second. Taquan Graham has 7 solo tackles. Taquan Graham, I don't think he's seen as much playing time as I thought he should have. I thought he could have done a little bit more on the field. But for the most part, I think he did okay. Maybe they just didn't need him at the time. Maybe he was just a little bit lower on the depth chart, or whatever the case may be. So therefore, he was not able to get on the field as much. Babe, sit down. Sometimes you got to be careful with your sons or whatever. I mean, they like to do a little bit of everything. With that being said, Taquan Graham should have got a little bit more playing time, in my opinion. I think he's going to be able to get more as time goes on. Drew Dahlman, I think he was another offensive lineman that we ended up picking up, 6'3", 300 pounds from Stanford. He played in all 17 games, so that's pretty cool. Not much really to show here for the most part. the fact that he played all 17 games is pretty cool. So with that being said, he seems like he's pretty reliable. Not much on the stat sheet to show what he's done or what he didn't do. And with Frank Darby, let me tell you something about this kid right here. Me personally, I think it's probably one of the biggest disappointments in the draft. I honestly thought Frank Darby was going to be something a little bit more dynamic than what he was. He has this attitude about him that he is going to be a dynamic player, but he was not. But, it's the first year. Maybe he'll turn around and do something. I think he has the potential to do big things. He had one catch for 14 yards. Really only played in 2 games. He played in the Dallas game and he played in the Bills game as a receiver. All the other games he did play in. It was 10 games that he played in, and most of that stuff was on special teams for the most part. He had a handful of injuries as well, so I just thought that he was going to be able to do a little bit more because it seemed like he's that type of player as a receiver that we really needed. And with all the stuff that was going on with the wide receivers, we really could have used him to step up and play a little bit because he has the size. I mean, he's like 6'1", 200. With the receivers that we have a little bit smaller, it would have been really nice to have him to play. So. With that being said, that's pretty much the draft class. A final grade, I would probably like to give them I won't say a C plus, maybe a C minus. You're probably like a C minus, C plus. I'm thinking. I don't know. I just feel like they could have done a little bit better. Sit down, baby. Sit down. Stop all that running. Sit down. You ain't hurting yourself. I just feel like, at the end of the day, I feel like they could have done a little bit better, but for the most part, it was somewhat disappointing overall. I think Kyle Pitts really holds it down for them. Richie Grant did a pretty good job as well. not Darren Hall, but Avery Williams was another one that actually held it down for them. Ogundeji. So I think overall, I'll give them a C plus. I think C plus is pretty much is really fair for the entire situation. I think that with the draft class, I think that Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot did okay. I don't think they did anything wrong. I don't think any of these guys are like bust or they're not in a situation to where they're just they're not going to be productive down the road. And I think that's something that we need to take in consideration, that a lot of these guys are going to be, for the most part, contributors down the road. Even Frank Darby, believe it or not, I think he's going to be a contributor. I just hope that he can stay healthy, because I would like to see him go out there and catch some footballs and actually be a pretty decent receiver, because he has all the tools. But for the most part, it just seems like he's been a disappointment. I don't know how that's going to play out down the road, because we may end up drafting a couple more receivers or picking up one at least, and he's just gonna have to put in the work. At the end of the day, he's just gonna have to put in the work and find a way to get those things together so he can get on the field. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, C plus. I mean, really for the most part, Kyle Pitts pulled this group over the finish line, because without Kyle Pitts, this probably would have been like a D or something. But with Kyle Pitts doing what he did, and he played very well within the circumstances and was a pretty good target, receiving yards over 1,000 and almost broke the rookie record. I mean, I think he did pretty good overall. So outside of that, I think they did pretty good. I don't want to keep you guys for too much longer. Like I said, I like to do between 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. But this is going to be a little bit shorter because of the fact that we're just talking about the draft class today. So I think that at the end of the day, I think they did okay. And I think going in 2022 is really going to be telling now. You already got 1 year under the belt as a GM. You got 1 year under the belt as a head coach. Now we need to really see what this team is going to be made of. You got a feel of what it is now. You're not just being thrown out there now. Now I want to see what type of players you're going to get and what your philosophy really going to be, because now you can move some people around. Now you can get some people together and you can get those guys to come in and play some ball. So let me know what you guys think don't want to keep you guys up for keep you guys too far on this one. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I will be back on Monday. I know it's Martin Luther King Day, but I'll probably be back with another episode to give you guys early in the morning. And hopefully you guys will continue to support. If you like this, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, share this. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're on the podcast avenue, subscribe over there as well. Give me a 5-star rating. Let people know what's going on over here. I'm going to attend to my son. He likes to jump around, and I had to do this episode with him up here. He would not catch. I would not hear the end of it if I would have done it without him, because he loves being up here with me, and I don't mind it. So it is what it is. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all take it easy. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Be safe. Be blessed. All right, y'all. Goodbye. Peace.